Hi, my name is Franka-Maria, and this is my new podcast called The Three Lemons. The Three Lemons is about creatives who take things that are normally plain and boring and make them into exciting, beautiful things that people can enjoy. Hi, today on my podcast, The Three Lemons, I have Susan Augustt, an amazing songwriter, a musician, and a member of an amazing band. Susan's here to tell us about her creative journey, what makes her tick, what makes her do music, what makes her love music. Susan, you're welcome to The Three Lemons.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's good to have you here. Susan, tell me, when did you first experience music?
That's a good question. I would say I've been experiencing music since I was born, but obviously I can't remember everything. But I think that growing up, I grew up around different kinds of music. So let's say my dad was playing the James Brown, my mom was playing her oldies, Phil Collins, and my sister was listening to her, her pop songs, my brother to his hip hop. So I think I got influenced different ways by different music, but I hadn't really thought of music as myself yet, But yeah, I think that was the moment that I realized I loved music, but I didn't know how to use it yet.
So when did you realize that it was a thing for you?
Okay, I would say basically in senior high school.
Okay.
Yeah, it was quite late because I think a lot of people experience it much earlier. But back in senior high school, that was when I realized I used to be punished actually to sing. That was how I actually realized, because back home, you sing too many songs and they're like, every song, you're making noise. That was the reaction I used to get. But when I got to senior high school, they were like, oh, you have a nice voice. Why are you not joining the choir? That was when it actually clicked that, maybe I have something. I think that was the moment that it clicked.
I think it's interesting how one discovers one's gifts. And in your case, as you're saying, it was a punishment, which tells you that in life, every experience has meaning. There's something to glean from every experience. So, okay, you're being punished, you're singing. How does that become now what you do? Because that's what you do.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about that journey.
Okay. After senior high school, where I was singing, I think when I came to university, there was an audition for a showcase, actually. And I think it was my cousin. My cousin has always been like a supporter of me. I don't know how or what he saw, because I feel like everyone has this one person who always pushes them to do things. And he was like, go and try. I was like, I'm a shy person. I don't think I can do it. It's like, go and try it. And I did it, and it went well, but I still felt I was too shy. I was like, maybe this is not for me. But he kept pushing me. And then eventually I joined a music school, actually. It was fun. It was started by Stephanie Benson. Okay. Yes. So she started this music school where she was for all girls. We had to audition, go through 3 different processes. I don't know what came over me to try, but I was like, okay, let me just give it a try and see how it goes. And that was when I realized that there was more to just singing, that there was a whole world behind just loving music and just singing. There was having the passion for it, knowing how to develop your talent, knowing how to communicate, because we're doing communication skills, plus performance, plus piano, a bit of guitar. So I think that was when I realized that this is something I actually love. Wow. And I want to keep doing it. Yeah.
I mean, I think for me, what you just said about Stephanie Benson having a music school is like the importance of mentorship. And the fact, like I always say, that there's so many young creatives who might get lost because there's nobody there to encourage them or to teach them how they can utilize their gifts. And so we're losing, I think, a lot of gifts in this particular society. What do you think of the music scene in Ghana? Like, do you feel that it's encouraging to young creatives?
I think over the years it keeps developing. I can't lie about that. But I also do think that we have to encourage more diversity, because I think sometimes people have a one way the one way thinking
Approach.
of how one way approach of how you should do music. But I feel like everybody is different. You know, I feel like my voice is not the same as someone else's, and I can't do what someone else is doing. So normally if you have an artist, and I think especially in the female scene, right, we don't have a lot of the females in the limelight. So as soon as you start singing, they compare you to the only one person, and they're like, why are you not doing it the way the person is doing it? But you realize that everybody has a different path. You know, everybody has their time, and everybody has what they're trying to communicate. So I think that the space, there's the creative industry, especially in terms of music, is growing, but there's a lot more we can do to encourage people to be different, to be unique, to stay true to who they are, basically. So that's what I would say.
But do you think that if you were anywhere else, say in America or the UK, that your journey would have been a bit more advanced internationally? Do you feel that our local creatives in the music industry have the opportunity to also blow up? Like, I know this young man, Black Sharif, who's doing very well internationally. Are there opportunities being created for young, talented artists such as yourself to gain international exposure?
I think the opportunities are there, but they're a bit limited. And sometimes if you are not in a certain circle, sometimes you don't even find out about these opportunities. I think at a point you might start thinking about all these things, these factors about if I was outside, I would have been better, I would have been bigger. But I think sometimes when you focus on those things too much, you hold yourself back. So even though it is true that there are more opportunities outside, but nowadays or recently I realized that you can create the opportunities for yourself as well. And sometimes you just have to read and research and do a lot of things. I think with me, there was a period where I was just going online looking for different things that I could learn. I applied for a grant last year. I got the grant. I don't think a lot of people even know that there was something like that or something available, you know. So I was telling people about it, that, this is something that you can try, but you have to have your
affairs in order.
Yes, you have to have your affairs in order. So as a musician, like the same way when you're going to get a job, we have something called an EPK, right? Which is like a CV for a musician. So your CV for a musician...
And the EP means?
EPK is like a professional kit.
Okay.
Yes, so it's like an electronic press kit.
Okay.
So it's like your CV for a musician. You show where you've performed.
I didn't know that. I've
you
learned
show
something.
what you need when you go on stage. You show your professional pictures.
Wow.
A lot of people don't even know that exists. These are things I saw online.
Wow.
And then other people, when I asked them about it, they now educated me. But if you don't know the right questions to ask,
absolutely,
you will never find out. So I think all these things. So that's how I got the grant, because I had those things. And I had people who I asked who helped me. And I was able to get it. So even though there are opportunities there, you have to actually work to actually get those opportunities as well. And
I like what you said about the importance of I think a lot of young people, in the quest to look beyond Ghana or Africa, also sometimes don't get the chance to see what's here in terms of the opportunities here. And you can spend a long time just trying to leave the shores, whereas you could have started something that could have, so I think it's good advice for not just creatives, but generally people who seem to think that sometimes, there's nothing here and everything is happening, in other parts of the world. And then there seems to be an influx of people from other parts of the world coming in here and seeing opportunities that we have, that, we're right in the middle of it and we don't seem to recognize it. You write music.
Yeah.
What makes you write music? When did you know you could write music?
This is also back to senior high school. Yes, I'm a very imaginative person. So sometimes I was the person who likes the essays where you write a story about who, and that ends with what if,
Okay.
or if had I known,
Okay.
because I like to write stuff like that. So I realized that I really enjoyed that aspect of writing, and I was like, let me try and write something down. And I shared with my classmates, but normally when you're writing, you judge yourself a lot. You critique yourself. You're harsh. So I lied. I said, oh, it's a song I heard. And they were like, oh, it's nice. The whole class actually learned the song. Oh, wow. And I was surprised. And that's when I told them that I was the one who wrote the song. So that's when it clicked that I could actually write. And I mean, over the years, I'm developing and I'm still learning, but that's the moment I knew that I could write.
So what inspires a song? Like, where do you have to go? Do you go, how deep do you go when you're writing a song?
It could be anywhere from my personal experience to what I've experienced through someone. Sometimes to it's imaginative, somewhere you wish you could be, right? Or somewhere you've imagined yourself, in that space or in that moment in time. And I think we're also inspired by everything around us. We watch movies, even through music itself, because as you're singing someone's song, you're putting yourself in that person's shoes and you're relating.
It's an immersion.
Yes, you're immersing yourself into the song. So I think it's in different ways. For me, it comes in different ways. I could be sitting in a cab or in church, or one of my songs I wrote, Dromo. I was in a trusky from work. I was tired. I don't know what came out. I don't know why it came out, but I started writing Dromo. I wrote the lyrics, the chorus, and then by the time I got off at Medina, I started walking home. I wrote the first verse in my mind. As soon as I got home, I started writing. So it happens anytime, anywhere, but it's just something that could have happened to me before or after a moment in time, but it's different ways, yeah.
I think there's something quite awesome about creatives in that, you ask yourself, where does it come from? Like, how does it drop into your being? And why does it drop into your being? So, like, I know that you have a band that you play with. Why do you think that you enjoy being a musician? What is your intention?
For me, music has always been an escape for me. It's where I feel comfortable. At a point, it was more of a selfish need.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, as I said, I felt comfortable. I could be myself with music when I'm performing, because I was doing a lot of covers at that time. So I was singing other people's songs, right? And I'm imagining myself in the shoes of someone else, But there was a point that I was like, I know I can do my own music. I know I can communicate something. And when I'm singing other people's songs, I'm able to communicate a certain emotion to them. It's either being happy, or sometimes I notice the way people even, sit to. It's not even about dancing. Sometimes even just being engaged with someone. It's a very intimate moment that normally you have
between you and the audience.
Yes, between you and the audience.
You actually get a feel of what people are experiencing through your singing.
And my favorite part is performing. Even though I love to songwrite, I love to record in the studio, but that moment is really my favorite, performing to people, because it's a different emotion altogether for me. I've been a very shy person all my life, and when I started singing, at a point I said maybe performing is not for me. I remember saying this when I was in university. I was like, I don't think performing is for me, because people see me, and then when they see me perform, they're like, is it the same person? And it's not because I'm different, but I think it's because I immerse myself into whatever I'm communicating. So I think that moment is very special for me when I'm able to communicate with people directly. Everybody has a different interpretation of how they even experience me performing to them. So I think that's a beautiful thing that I've come to, appreciate a lot.
Do you feel different? Do you feel like a different person? Like when Susan walks into a gig, shy Susan, and then when you actually get the microphone in your hand and the band, do you actually feel different inside?
Yes, I actually do. I don't think I'm way different from who I am, but I think that I'm more, I think it also comes with experience, it comes with practice, it comes with the confidence. So after all those things, when you know you're confident in something, you know that you can deliver, you forget about everything else. Initially, I would worry about the sound, what I'm wearing, is my makeup okay, is this happening right, thinking about too many factors. But at this point, I think I'm able to get on stage and just focus on communicating what I'm doing at that moment and not worry about anything else.
Detail. But you also have a band that, and I've seen you guys play several times, you have a really good connection with each other. You are really in sync and you flow. And I think that also gives you that, because if everybody's doing what they need to do well, then you can do what you need to do well without worrying that maybe the guitar is not playing right or the, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's beautiful. Where do you see your music going? Where do you see yourself?
Right now, I'm really hoping that we could do a lot of... So you've seen the smaller set with the band, but my band, which is Adoko, that's my Ghana name.
Okay.
So my band is now called Adoko. And the Adoko band, we are like 12-piece.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're a whole 12-piece band. We're looking to do more of festivals. And because performance is actually where I love to be, I hope we can, reach our music, like push our music to different, borders. And I have Creative Matter, which is also like our production agency. So what we've been doing is been creating small events. We manage the band, so we use the band. That's an extra way of getting income. But the main thing would be to also get other talents on board, because I believe that there's a lot of talent out there, and if I can also help and push other people as well, I would love to do that. There are people who come to me and ask me, I want to do this, I want to try this. I give them to the band, they train with them and stuff like that. I don't do it like full time, but it's something that I want to do more intentionally.
I like that, because I believe that that's how we're going to grow the next generation of creatives, in offering the wisdom and the experience. That's our gift to the next generation. And it's great that even though you're young, you're already thinking about how you can also raise the next generation of creatives and musicians. And I think you're going to do really well.
Thank you so much.
So thank you for having this conversation with us.
Thank you so much for having me.